Back here on the desk with John Ramdeen and Robin Black. We're heading into this weekend, and certainly one of the big stories is the creation of the UFC's women's featherweight division. We know that either Holly Holm or Germaine de Randamie is going to leave the Barclays Center with that championship, unless there's a draw, which would maybe be the most perfect ending and exclamation point to this edition of a weight class. But we have no other women currently occupying this division. We don't even have the participants of this fight necessarily 100% dedicated to staying at 145. So we have a very interesting situation coming out of Saturday's card, regardless of who the winner is, John, of whether this division is going to even see one title defense.
Yeah, what it seems right now with the new ownership of the UFC, it's like, okay, let's try to figure out what's going on right now. We can't figure out how to develop this thing in the future, and so it's like, how are we dealing with the problems that we have? We have Holly Holm, Germaine de Randamie, they're going to fight for the championship. Who do we have after that? Well, I think the fight that everybody will get behind is the winner facing Cyborg. And then so you have these three fighters, and then
small hiccup in
I understand. So you're waiting for Cyborg to come back, and at this point, well, Holly Holm just came from 135 pounds. She shipped down to 135 pounds. Any big names willing to come up to 145 pounds. In addition to that, you have your relationship with Invicta, so you'll continue to take some of the fighters from Invicta, if not swallow Invicta whole and try to take the 125 pounders or 145 pounders, and then you have to start scouring the earth for whatever females are available.
Who jumps out at you from that Invicta division that was not Cyborg?
I know.
It's true. Couple of things. I am jazzed about the fight.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome.
I think everyone can really.
The fight itself.
If this fight was happening and it was a 5-round main event, I don't think it would have any criticism.
No titles.
To be honest, I think people are just looking at this division of where are we at with this new division, when even the people talking about the people in the actual fight are saying, I don't know, I might fight at 135 next. I don't even know if I'm going to stick around here.
So while we're like just going at it and we're trying to help, we're trying to make this division if we can. Remember when we would be calling deep? There was somebody who fought at 145 and 155 that was dominant on top, that was a fantastic fighter. She's 35 years old. I don't know if she's fighting currently, but Amanda Lucas, George Lucas's daughter, is a killer fighter. Amanda, I don't know where you are right now, but if you're fighting, if you're out there,
another kid.
Yeah.
I think she wants to fight though. I think I remember seeing that.
Remember how good she was, how dominant that woman's top game was, how crushing her top game. Amanda, if you're out there, train and get in shape. They'll pull you up to fight one of these chicks for sure.
It's true.
One division that is not currently being promoted by the UFC is the 125-pound women's division, and we've heard many women discuss how they would like to fight at that weight, not the least of which is strawweight champion Joanna Jędrzejczyk. Recently, Beck Rawlings stating that this cut to 115 is just not going to work for her.
Our friend Val Letourneau.
Joanne Calderwood would love to fight at
so
that
right
weight.
There,
that alone, those names right there,
alone.
you have the makings of a very strong division, and I think a lot more women from 115 and 135 would migrate to 125. Is that the division that makes a lot more sense long term in terms of just viable fights and making it easier for the women that have this big gap between the two weight classes?
Exactly. So that's what you look at. What is the talent pool? And not only how many people do you have, what is the quality of that talent pool? And right now it seems that 125 pounds would be better suited for the UFC than 145 pounds. But what do I know?
If you weigh 138 pounds, you're a woman walking around fit at 138 pounds, you're way too small for 135. I know the math doesn't sound right there, but the people who cut to 135 are in the 150s, so you're too small. But cutting to 115 is so much if you weigh 137, 138 pounds. So 125, there will be a ton of women at that weight. But we know how these things work, and McGregor, when asked about Ronda not doing press, was like, hey, everyone is different, and every scenario is different. And that's how the world does work right now. And the reason this 45-pound division got made was because Cyborg's a star. Cyborg's a star. They make money when she fights. People in Brazil love her, people around the world. All you have to do is bring up the idea of Cyborg cutting to 135, and whatever website or whatever thing you do that on will engage everybody. They'll debate that forever. This division exists because Cyborg exists, and Cyborg, you called it a hiccup. That hiccup was 2 failed drug tests. So what are you going to do?
Some tough hiccups.
Yeah.
Is it safe to say this is one of the most important USADA rulings, because I feel a lengthy suspension might kill this division, and a shorter suspension where maybe we're looking at she can fight in the fall near the end of 2017. Maybe they just get through these months and then there's that opponent that makes all the sense in the world when she can come back.
Yeah, I think that is what the UFC would be hoping for, because again,
2 years. I think this division's done.
Yeah. You just never know, because again, once a division, look at 125 pounds, that didn't exist. There are a lot of fighters that were supposed to fight at 125 pounds that fought at 155 pounds. But as soon as a division opens up and the opportunity to become a UFC champion and make some money, that opens up. Look at 125 pounds unfolded the way it did for the men. I would imagine it would maybe not as fast for women at 145 pounds, but eventually.
Hey man, if Holly Holm does win this fight, it's a very, very tough fight. She has to be bang on to win it. Duran to me is I spent 6 days breaking down that footage. That breakdown should be out today. And it's an exciting fight. But if Holly wins it, she'll be only the 4th fighter ever to have two weight division titles, and the first woman ever. So there are real stakes involved. The fight itself is just a gorgeous fight the way that it lines up, and it is going to be killer. But there are real stakes ultimately, whether there's a 45-pound.
Yeah, and Holly Holm said that. She says she doesn't want to be defined by kicking Ronda Rousey in the face. She doesn't want that to be her legacy. So to be able to topple one of the giants of the sport and become a 2-division champion and be a boxing champion, she really is setting herself apart from everybody else.
And Jermaine would be a world-class, proven, many-time kickboxing and Muay Thai world champion and UFC champion. So these are two of the best fighters, women fighters in the world.
I know how much you guys love when a fighter just wins their fight and the question of what's next is asked. This one's easy. No one knows.